to have outlets and places and spaces and people, professionals that we can actually talk to that can help us on these journeys. And I think we always are told we're supposed to be strong. Y'all need to check on your strong friends, for real, because they're not always okay. And it's more so fully understanding who people are as a woman and as a person instead of just viewing them as a machine. We are not machines. There's feelings, I get choked up about it. But we're here for excellence. We're gonna show up. We're gonna do what we need to do. But this woman right here, who India affectionately calls Kow, and that's how I knew her when I first met her, but her name is actually Kristin. And Kristin has a phenomenal group called the Release and Unleash support group. And she's gonna come up today just for a few minutes to share with you guys her journey as a mother, a wife, as a woman. And I feel like it's needed in this room because we all have things going on, and I want to celebrate her mission with you guys. So please join me in welcoming up. I'm still gonna call you Kow. Okay. Welcoming up Kow.
Hello everybody, how y'all doing today? Hey. Okay, I'm gonna ask y'all again and I want you to say better than good and better than most. So how are y'all doing today? Better than good. Hey, I got that from Les Brown, but I love to say it because my son, I'm like, how you doing today? He's like, better than good and better than most. But it's good that we speak that into us because one, we are better than good because one, we are here in Jamaica with Janine and Black Girls Real Estate, right? And we are better than most because we are here to obtain knowledge. And we are here to do what is best for our minds, and not only that, to bring revenue to our families, right? So before I get to speaking, I am Kristin Biggs, and not only am I a mother, I am a serial entrepreneur, a self-published author, transformational speaker, fleet owner. I just started a trucking company, but I'll get into that as well. But I'm trying to learn to do this quicker. 1 second. Okay, there we go. So before I get into everything that I do and why I am here, well, I'm here to support my Kow, India, and Black Girls Real Estate. She said she was speaking. I said, I'm gonna come and support, okay? So we gotta support our friends. But seriously, yes. But my purpose in life is to always try to rise above situations that occur. And just like me, I'm sure life has happened to many of us in this room. And if life has happened, I don't care if it's losing a job, a pet, just mentally, sometimes we lose ourselves. I want to see a raise of hands. If you ever experienced life financially, business-wise, anything, raise your hand. So if you look around the room, we see that everyone has experienced something. Just look around the room. If you raise your hand, raise it again. Yeah. We all have been there. Nobody here, we all experience life. But what I've learned in these last 3 years, July 14th, 2019, my husband was murdered. We had known each other since we were 12 years old. 12, we got married at my 30th birthday, September 4th. He was the love of my life. We had our first son together, my first son, his first son, our junior. Then, just last year, my son turned 17 years old, July 17th. I'm like, okay, he's getting grown. And the next day, my son was shot. And my life changed again, right? So July 19th, they pronounced my son gone. So 2 years and 5 days to the date of my husband being murdered, my 17-year-old son was murdered. So in the midst of both of my trials, I always figure, what can I do? Because I'm mentally, I'm not there. And that's why when Janine spoke, and even Irene and all the other beautiful ladies, they spoke, we speak on our mindset, we speak on things that occur. When she said, hey, I grew up, this happened, I was adopted. That can affect somebody mentally. Me losing my husband and my son, a lot of people say, I wouldn't be able to even wake up the next day. I wouldn't even be able to take a shower. How can I do this, right? I don't know some days. I say, but God, right? But in the midst of me losing when my husband passed, I said, what can I do to show my son that even though I feel like this, I want to keep my head high because I want him to see we're going to go through life. Life is going to happen to us. But what we do when life happens to us, that defines us. So if I was to lay in bed all day, I'm just going to be just letting my life pass away. So I wanted to show my son, no, you're going to stay in sports. You're going to do this, this, and that. And then last year, my son was murdered. So I said, okay, God, now what you telling me now? Because, baby, I can't take that. This is my baby, like, my everything. This is who I was doing it for, and I have a 4-year-old, but Shaudy, he was that force that kept me, you know. So I started when I lost my husband, I wrote a book called Release and Unleash Through Grief because I wanted to help people to understand that even though we go through life, business, personal, we still have to have ourselves, and we have to love ourselves enough to know that we have to get through another day. Because the bills don't stop. Nobody else's life stops around you. You have a business and you have employees. Guess what? They still have to get paid no matter how bad I hurt, no matter how bad you hurt, no matter how much you're going to cry about it. We could cry about it. We still going to have to go to the bank and still have to cash checks, right? Being a serial entrepreneur, being a businesswoman alone or a businessman, we're going to go through so many things. So I wrote a book to help people to understand, like, we have to get us together no matter what we go through. So when my son was just murdered, I said, okay, God, now what are you telling me now? Because I don't want to live. And I'm going to tell you, even when I wake up today, I don't want to live. But if I have to live, I tell people, I'm going to live in my best version of myself. Because I don't want to walk around sad and ignorant. Because I could, because I can say, that's my excuse. My son just was murdered. My husband, my family was murdered. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that because if that energy spreads. Right. So if I look at you and say, ugh, you're going to be like, what? Like, that's going to affect you mentally, right? Mm-hmm. Everything is mental. Everything. If I hit myself mentally, I'm like, oh, that just hurt. My heart is hurting, but I don't choose to live hurt and affect people. I choose to get up and say, how can I smile at her and say, you look gorgeous today. Mm-hmm. You look handsome today. Oh, you look nice. I like that outfit. Because that's going to change your mindset. Like if I was walking with my head held down, I was having a birthday thinking about my son, and I'm like, and he tells your head up. I said, you are absolutely right. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what I was just thinking. But I know some days we're going to have that, but we have to, what we do when we are going through our trials is going to allow us to say, see, one, we can get through it. Two, no matter what we do, we're going to have to elevate to the best version of ourselves. So I created a parent program in my community, a 7-series parent program where I went and spoke to kids about gun violence. I spoke to parents. India, My Kow, she came along and spoke financial literacy because a lot of times in our community, they don't know anything about financial literacy. They don't even know mentally they're going through something. The only thing they know is, hey, I'm going to go kill this boy because he just said something to me. I'm going to go kill this man because I saw, so that's all that they see, and that's what they feel like that is all they know. So I brought a mental health specialist on board too. Because I said, I don't want nobody to experience what I have to experience. If I can speak to a grown man or a grown woman and say, don't kill that man when he make you mad. Don't kill this young boy when he make you mad. That could be a trickle effect as well. And in business, we have to have a better mindset. I tell people all the time, my mind is stronger than my heart. And I thank God for that because I wouldn't be standing here today at this amazing event with Janine and everyone, just to let you know, mentally we have to work and shift our mindset no matter what we go through in life. Because guess what? It's all a process and it's all a puzzle that we have to put together. I have to put my life together. I have to put my life back together. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not even all the way there. So I accidentally fell into real estate because my husband passed away and he left 3 properties and they were all not together. So once I started renovating those, I said, oh, I actually like this. So that was in 2019 I started and I got every tenants in those 3 properties. Now my baby has something to have when he turns 18. But when I go fixing on properties, he comes pick out the floor. He's picking off the tiles. When I go, he tell the workers and the tenants, don't mess up my property. You know what I mean? But this is what he understands at 4, and he meditates. He takes deep breaths. All of this is important in business and personal life as well. Everything, it kind of coincides because this is our lives. Yeah. When we go to work, some people say, I don't bring it home, but sometimes as entrepreneurs, we bring it at home because sometimes it is at home. Yeah. So we have to be cautious of what we bring into our life. I had this phone call positive affirmations that was supposed to be played because I listened to certain things, and when Irene said affirmations, it's through my whole entire room because it's kind of like my sanctuary. You know how you gotta talk like, hey, my son be like, oh, you need your peace? Yes. So when I sit at the toilet, it's my affirmations. I am determined. I am loved. It's just so many. I am capable. It's so many, and I read it. When I'm in my room, like before I go to sleep, I say, give it to God and go to sleep. Because at this point, I can't do anything about it. A lot of things in life we cannot change. But one thing we can do is change our mindsets. To allow us to know that these things are going to happen in business. We're going to get frustrated. But if we can't change it, let it go. Yeah. If we can't change it, let's change it to better ourselves and not to worsen ourselves. Right. It's so important. And also the last thing, because I know I don't have a lot of time, but like I said, I accidentally fell into real estate in 2019 when that happened to my husband. 2020, I renovated, actually, I started in August. My husband passed away in July. I started working immediately because guess what? It don't stop. So in 2020, I finished all three, less than 7 months. I wrote a book and then a journal to coincide. And then also, and I started a nonprofit organization, Release and Unleash support group so that I can help people understand.